Well, my camera's working again. That's good news. Long ago, Malagos created the Azure Vault as a place for Sindragosa to catalog and store any curious magical artifacts he found. Locked away and deserted millennia ago, the vault has since fallen into disrepair, leaving it vulnerable to attacks from without and within. But yeah, you can see now, hey, camera's working again. Sorry if that's a little loud for you. Is this going to be like the Nexus? I guess we'll find out.
Be wary, champions. My vault is many things, but harmless is not one of them. These whelplings perceive anyone not of my blood as a threat. Their gaze pierces all. If they see you, all nearby creatures will awaken to purge you from the vault.
Oh, you mean like that one right there? Jeez, thanks. My team is not going to be happy with me about that. I was listening to her and all of a sudden it just walks up like, oh, hey! And just like that, someone left. Oh my gosh. Our entire group left except the tank. Wow. Really? First, like the first room, and everyone leaves. People were that upset about it? Holy mackerel. Now, the tank here is still fighting, so I'm going to back him up. Try to bring the damage I need to keep him alive.
I need to target something first.
Alright, here's the rest of our team. Alright. Blood DK. Man, Blood DK is still awesome. So now we got a Preservation Evoker, another Demon Hunter, and a DPS Warrior. My goodness, I'm still feeling it. Yeah, this is going to be the last video I do tonight, and then I'll wrap it up. I might do some more off-camera stuff, possibly, but, you know, I may just go ahead and head to bed and wait till tomorrow. Like, after this, I'm not really sure what I'm going to focus on in terms of recording. There could be more side story stuff, but...
Flame have been delving into my vault. They do not understand the dangers within, nor the powers they meddle with.
Now, that time, that was not my fault.
I need a target. I don't have a target.
Ow. Ouch. And this dungeon is... It is mean. This is a mean dungeon. My goodness. That doesn't seem very fast. They kind of hyped this trinket up, and it's like, nope.
Once, my beloved Malagos gifted me with arcane seeds. I planted them here. A little garden from him. It looks as though it has grown wild over the years. I will need you to prune it.
Huh. It's also a little...
Target.
I will admit, it's a little strange hearing her refer to Malagos as my beloved. And I'm only saying that because we know about what happened to those two back in Wrath. But then we have to remind ourselves, wait, this is not You know, the same Sindragosa from that. And really, one of the only times we really seen Malygos was like after he went nuts. We haven't really gotten to see much of Malygos before he was like, I'm gonna go destroy everything. Like, really, one of the only times we've really seen Malygos is after he lost it. Laymore. Laymore was born of a humble seedling that Malygos found in a pool of lay energy. Once but a small sprout in Sindragosa's garden, over millennia, Laymore has shot up like a weed. Left to its own devices, the looming giant would surely overrun the entirety of the Azure Vault.
Explosive friend.
Move to star.
Move to star. I don't see star.
There is no sign of the Sunder Flame here. Come, this way. The location of my vault was chosen to harness and make use of this powerful ley line. While a marvel to behold, I am unsure of what effects it will have on your mortal form. Do be on the lookout for the growth of extra appendages.
Oh. Wait, how did the rest of the group get by the Shrieking Whelp? The tank just was like, no, we're gonna kill this thing. But then the rest of the group was like apparently ahead. I don't even know how they did that. I was too busy, you know, trying to capture the story, you know, pay attention to what Sindragosa was saying. It's like in Tomb of Sargeras where I'm trying to listen to Aegwynn, and all the other raiders are running off to the next boss.
You have discovered one of my books of translocation. Since the majority of the vault's caretakers are flightless, I incorporated a means of safe travel via these tomes.
Interesting. Alright. Wild magic coalesces around you, its effect unknown. Ooh. But also increases enemies' haste. Oh, crap. Ah! Scornful haste. So I increase my teammates' haste by 15%, but also our enemies' haste. Well, that sucks. I wonder what my teammates have. Our tank has what? I'm trying to see what it is. Don't mind me, I'm just sleeping over here. I also gotta check what it was that, like, I also have not looked at blood DK. I haven't really looked at the other stuff on my DK. At some point, I will level him, because, of course, as you can see, my initial thoughts are, ooh, this is going to be fun to do on alts. It looks like this is going to be more alt-friendly than Shadowlands. Certainly was. I think. That's the initial thought, but we'll have to wait and see.
It's too far away.
Man, that disorient. That is nasty. The crystal chambers. Gosh, I feel like we're the Cheeto book from Banjo-Kazooie. Or rather, Banjo-Tooie. No, he was in both games. He was. I remember. I played both Banjo-Kazooie games. I remember. I played Banjo-Kazooie a lot when I was a kid. A lot of people grew up with the Super Nintendo. I more so grew up with the Nintendo 64. Even though the controls, well, let's just say you got very used to them after a while. And you didn't really have much of a choice back then. Compared to now, where you can do things a little differently and like perhaps get an emulator with better controls, but back then I didn't really have that option. So I kind of had to live with it. But I made it work. Well, Azure Blade is over here. But I guess we're clearing out the entirety of the trash right now. Which I suppose makes sense. We'll just go ahead and take it out right now. Might as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the kind of decision that players do when they run through this on Mythic Plus. I'm so curious what some of these dungeons are going to be like going through them on Mythic Plus. Alright, so up next, we're going to be facing Azure Blade. As security for the vault, Azure Blade refused to leave when it was sealed, choosing duty over safety. When the Blue Dragons failed to return, her bitter resignation...
Yes, yes. So beautiful. So powerful. All for me.
Her bitter resignation drove her to eventual madness, extending her own life with the magics that she was sworn to protect. Azure Blade now claims ownership over all the Blue Dragonflight left behind.
No, no, no! Mine! It is all mine!
Summon Draconic
Take
Image.
care of them!
Include.
Shred you!
Watch
My
your
magic!
Summon Draconic
Take care of
Image.
them!
Include.
Slash you!
phase
Overwhelming
change.
Power!
Draconic images.
Mine!
Oh. Ow, that's gonna hurt. Overwhelming energy. Okay, how do we deal with that? I guess we have to take care of the illusions? Ouch. I'm dead. Huh.
Overwhelming energy.
I'm guessing we have to focus down the illusions here to get that to stop, and then
Arcane Cleave.
she'll stop the cast.
Shred you! My treasure!
Fury Warrior. I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all.
I do not blame her. I should have thought of her before I left. This door. I sense a breach behind it. The sundered flame must be this way.
Tear this place apart.
I love seeing the evokers do the same thing that I'm doing.
I will expose whatever secrets she locked away within these vaults.
Tilash must not break
It's
the
too
final
far
seal.
away.
The consequences would be dire. Please, hurry.
I don't have a target.
Ah, so he's doing Essence Break. I'm curious about his build. I'm sure I'll have to change my build at some point. It's just the build I wanted to do while I was playing and leveling. As we go on, you know, I'll look more into what is doing well in terms of builds. See what it is I actually need to do. What I'll need to have for other things.
I need to get closer.
But just like back in BFA and in Castle Nathria, I'm determined to make it work. And yeah, there are going to be others. You know, like I know there's other demon hunters that are going to be in my guild. Whether or not they'll be in the rain group, I don't know, but it's always nice to have at least one so they can provide the
It's too far away.
brand to be able to help out the casters. It's kind of like how warlocks were back in the day when they were around to mainly just provide the buff to buff the mages. You guys know what I'm talking about. Warlock, that's what Warlock's job back in the day was. Well, one of their jobs as a support role was to basically be there to help buff the mages.
I'm out of range.
It certainly wasn't their only task back in vanilla, but it was certainly one of the reasons why they were there. Not to do damage, but to buff the mages, so the mages could do more damage. That's kind of what demon hunters provide now. Ah, okay, so this is Telash Greywing.
You enough. Ice cold.
Run out.
Oh, gosh.
Watch your feet.
Whoa, whoa!
Will be
Watch your
mine.
feet. Frost bomb.
Freeze!
Run out.
Now you
Find
will
shelter.
pay.
Shelter where?
Watch your feet.
Here, maybe?
Ice.
Frost bomb.
Theorists at the Blue Dragonflight.
Run out.
Telesh Greywing is determined to find the secrets that Sindragosa has been hiding in the Arcane Vault. Together with the Sundered Flame, he is certain that he will discover
Frost bomb.
more about the origins of the Drakthir and incriminating evidence against the Blue Dragonflight.
Watch your feet. Frost bomb. Run out. Watch your feet.
Our secrets will be mine. Nice.
We are too late. Oh. Oh no.
Sindragosa's Lament. The last boss is Umbral Skull.
My agony is yours.
Millennia ago, Umbral Skull unwittingly meddled with raw arcane power. Riddled with crystalline growths, yikes.
Arcane eruption.
He was taken to the Azure Vault until a cure could be found. Sadly, the vault was sealed away before the research was completed, leaving Umbral Skull sleeping in stasis. Until now.
Sorry.
My dear one. He knew that wild magic was dangerous, but he meddled with it anyway. By the time we found him, we could not stop the growth. I placed him in stasis until I could find a proper cure. And then I was gone. Champion, you did what was needed and ended his suffering. Thank you. I am but a simulacrum. But once, I was a mother as well. Please, leave me to mourn.
So here I am, of course, trying to, make a video about the dungeon. And of course, this guy has no idea what I'm doing. That I'm more so paying attention to trying to showcase the story of what's going on, reading the journal about what, the bosses we're fighting. All he's looking at is how I'm doing in terms of the meter and such. Look at this. It says, I'm trash, put the demon hunter down, go play a new class. And then he leaves. Doesn't give me a chance to respond or to find out what's going on. He just wants to talk me down, be an a-hole to me, and then leave. I don't care about the fact that he's from the Illidan server. People say, oh, he's from the Illidan server. I don't really care about that. That doesn't make a difference to me. It really doesn't. Is it a convenient thing? That, oh, well, of course, it's because of even that. Well, yeah. I try not to let this stuff bother me, but sometimes it just can't help but get to you sometimes. At least it does for me sometimes, It's like, how do I explain what's going on here? Why? Obviously, my, where I am on the meter was terrible. That's because I wasn't focused on what I was doing in terms of gameplay. I'm trying to focus on, capturing the story of the dungeon, for this video, to show you guys. So yeah, my focus is going to be on something else that I consider more important, It's also my first time ever in this dungeon, so I am also literally learning mechanics, learning what to do here. Whereas this guy, has he already done this dungeon 20 times or something in the span of the last few days? So let's see if the new report system, how that works. If anyone has a problem with me writing this report for this guy, being toxic and being an a-hole, you can just save it, okay? If you want to defend this kind of, this kind of garbage, this kind of toxic nonsense. This is exactly what they're trying to get out of the player base and the community. This kind of behavior. And if you're going to defend it, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. You are just as much a part of the problem as this guy is. And Blizzard doesn't want this in their game and in their community. If you're going to say that this is part of it, they don't want it to be a part of it. So I have no problem reporting this. In fact, I love it when I report stuff like this, especially in games like Overwatch, that I then later get a notice saying, thank you for reporting. An action's been taken against this account. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that reported that person's behavior, because they probably keep that going in other events with other players. So, of course, other players reported the same thing I did. And if you're going to be a toxic a-hole in their games, Blizzard's going to kick you out. They don't want this in their games. And this is exactly why I stuck to single-player games so much more and so much longer before I delved into these online community multiplayer games. Right here. Nothing ruins a game for me more than other players. I don't care what you can say about the game itself, about its design, its flaws, its issues. I don't care what you want to list off having to do with the game. There is nothing that ruins the fun of a game more than other players. I have never had my fun and experiences playing a game ruined more often from anything else in any other single-player game than I have from other players in online games like this. I've never had these kind of issues with single-player games like Skyrim, Witcher 3, any other single-player game that you want to list off. None of them have ever ruined the fun of a game for me more than other people. Like, having other people can uplift the experience, yes, but oh my gosh, this right here is the kind of crap that makes me want to just not touch games like this anymore. And I don't blame anyone else for feeling the same way. Is that exaggerated a little, report a little exaggerated? Maybe. But that's certainly how it felt. Because in my opinion, you have to be that kind of an a-hole to leave that kind of comment at the end and then just peace out thinking that that was okay for you to say. People like that remind me of the bullies that I used to encounter when I was growing up in school. And I got bullied a lot. When you're an only child and you're moving around and going from new school to new school, you get viewed by the bullies a lot because they see you as new meat to pick on. And it happened to me a lot. And that right there just kind of took me back to those days when I was being bullied a lot. Right there. So people may say, oh, don't let it bother you. There are sometimes I just can't help it. I just can't help sometimes that it does bother me. And all that crappy saying of, oh, words can't hurt you. It's BS. Because someone who says that, they did not experience what it's like to have a lot of disgusting, horrible words thrown at you. And yeah, it does hurt. You know why? Because of the amount of people that have had horrible things said to them, and then later we find out they committed suicide. Because it got to them too much. Because too much was thrown their way. Now, I am someone who would never do that personally because I don't believe in that, because I always have to believe that it can always get better, that there's always hope. But imagine if that guy said that to someone else that was kind of leaning that way or thinking that way, and then later on, it was too much for him. How do you think that guy would feel finding out the person he just said that to later on took his own life because of that? And I always wonder about that. Do these people care about the consequences of these things that they say and do? This kind of stuff is exactly why the WoW community has the kind of toxic reputation that it does, right there. If this was a Mythic Plus, and I was playing like this, and I was doing this, yeah, I can understand his anger and frustration at that. But a normal dungeon the first week that this expansion is out, and some people are experiencing these dungeons for the very first time, which was my case. It's not just that I was recording it, it's that I'm also checking it out for the first time. I don't know what's going to happen, where I'm going, what the mechanics are yet. And this is the kind of behavior you're tossing at people? My gosh. Let's get out of here. This video's gone on too long. I didn't want this video to all of a sudden turn into me ranting about toxicity. This was supposed to be about the dungeon, and it became something else because of that. And I apologize, but I just had to talk about that. That is something that has just really been getting to me for quite some time.
You are a fascinating one.
10,000 years of delaying what I feared in my heart would be the inevitable end for my child. Malagos and I hoped one day we would find a cure, though that day never came. I would not change any of our actions. We must always strive for hope, even if it seems non-existent. I take comfort in knowing that at least my child is now reunited with the true Sindragosa and Malagos. Looks like I'm going to have to replace the Heart of Azmerloth. Sad.
Thank you for all you have done.
Well, on that note, I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to go to bed, because that really fouled my mood and my evening. Stay tuned.